Hello everyone, welcome to SI UK India webinar. Thank you for joining us. We are now live with Cranfield University. Today we have Sophia with us. She will be taking us through this webinar. We'll answer all the questions after the presentation during the Q&A session. So let's start the webinar. Over to you, Sophia.
Thank you very much, Yutki, and welcome everyone to this session. I'm just going to share my screen so I can share my slides with you. Right. So my name is Sofia Kumpetli. I am a senior lecturer in plant sciences at Cranfield, and I'm also the program director of the Agri-Food MSc courses. And today I'll give you a bit of an overview about Cranfield. Where is it, what the sort of research we do, what sort of courses we teach, and I will focus a little bit more on the courses offered through the School of Water, Energy and Environment, which is the school I'm a member of. So without wasting any more of time, just to let you know that at Cranfield we have a proud heritage of 75 years and of creating leaders in technology and management. Something really special and very unique about Cranfield is the fact that we are an exclusively postgraduate university. What that means is we don't have any undergrad courses. So our education is focused on postgraduate courses, MScs, Masters by Research, PhDs, and professional development courses. And we are very research focused. So we pride ourselves on being one of the UK's top research institution with world-class and quite unique facilities, which I'll talk to you about in a little bit. And we really have some unrivaled links with industry. So all the research we do, apart from informing our teaching, so our teaching is informed by the research we do, but it's also most of it is in collaboration with industry. We have great links with industry, and our research is very applied. We try to solve real life problems, working with the people that really have these problems and try to provide solutions. Because of our structure and the fact that we are not organized as a classical university and we are very research focused, we are organized in terms of industry sectors. And these are the 8 kind of focused sector specialisms we cover. We call these themes in our organization structure. So we are working on aerospace, on defense and security, and we actually have a separate campus in Shrivenham, close to Oxford, that does all the research and education on defense and security. Energy and sustainability, environment and agri-food, manufacturing and materials, transport systems, and water. And of course, we have a very long history in management, and we have a separate school of management, which is renowned and has several accreditations. Just in case you've never heard of Cranfield, and it would be normal, that's all right. So we are quite centrally located, just north of London. We're very good links to London and Birmingham in terms of airports where you could fly in, and great rail train links from Milton Keynes and Bedford. They are the 2 towns that are very close to Cranfield. So you could get, for example, easily to London from either Milton Keynes or Bedford in 30-40 minutes. So really accessible, really easy to get to. And because it's quite central, you can reach almost everywhere in the UK from that center. Our campus is in a quite rural location. And that's because we have our own airport on campus. That's something quite unique. But that means, obviously, we are a little bit more in the countryside to accommodate the airport. However, there are lots of restaurants, shops, post office, sports and fitness facilities, The student association runs lots of clubs and societies, and of course there is plenty of on-campus accommodation as well, including some new halls of residence that were built in the last couple of years. So overall, quite very green campus in the countryside, but with very easy links to London, Birmingham, and other central UK locations. Now, a few things to note here. We really, despite our relatively small size, we rank 7th in the UK for engineering research power, and that's based on the latest REF exercise, the REF 2021. This is the UK government's system of evaluating the quality of research in academic institutions. And based on that, in the last of these evaluations in 2021, 88% of our research was classed world leading or internationally excellent. This is a fantastic result. If we look at the global picture, in the world, we rank in the top 30 for engineering, mechanical, aeronautical, and manufacturing. That's quite a big achievement for us. We're very proud of that. And one of the things, if we look on campus, we have about 5,000 postgraduate students coming from more than 100 countries. So we're a very multicultural, multinational community, which makes it a really interesting and vibrant environment to study in and learn from each other and make connections. One thing that is quite important for education, for teaching, is the teaching staff to student ratio, and we have one of the highest ratios in the UK. So we have 1 teaching staff per 8 students, and that's university-wide, but actually when we look at individual programs, individual schools, that's even lower. So if we look at environment and agri-food, for example, that's I think we're about 1 staff for every 5 students or so. So what does this mean? It means you get really personalized education. We get to know really well our students get to know us really well, and we really work together to make sure you get the skills you need, and we help you complete your course, but plan your career ahead, of course. Having said that, we have a really huge professional alumni network, over 67,000 alumni across many countries around the world, and really these are the people that are our best ambassadors. Really, they had their time at Cranfield, and they're always happy to engage with us again and enhance Cranfield's reputation and the experience of our current students as well. So we often reach out to them. Something very special about the School of Water, Energy and Environment is we actually have the largest collection of soil and water scientists in the UK. So we have a long history of soil science and water science at Cranfield with some really unique facilities. And actually, if you are passionate about soil or water, there's no better place really to come and study about it and be part of that community. And our links with industry, as I mentioned before, are really unrivaled. We work with about 1,500 different organizations, having really mutually beneficial relationships, and that's something we're very proud of, and something that is in the culture, in the nature of Cranfield, really. Now, as I said, at Cranfield, we are postgraduate only, so we only teach master's courses and PhDs, and all our master's courses follow the same kind of principles, right? So they are developed with the same principles in mind. So we're looking at developing focused education and based on our world reading research. So our research, what we do now, is informing our courses. So when you come to study here, it's not that you'll be given some textbooks to learn from. You will actually learn from real case studies based on our current research and based on the latest in the research world at the moment. We are driven by industry and what the job market needs. Many of the courses will have industry advisory panels, which review the content of the courses annually. They give advice. They help us shape the courses to make sure what you learn, the skills you develop are relevant for the job market and relevant to what the market needs at the moment. And these things are very dynamic and they keep changing. So our courses keep changing in line with that. We are very strong on focusing on your individual personal development. As I said, the teaching staff to student ratio is very small, it's very low, and we want to offer you the best personal experience you can have here. So we'll help you identify your weaknesses, help you build the skills you think you might need to achieve whatever it is you'd like to achieve going forward. So apart from your actual course, the MSc course, there will be plenty of other opportunities to join training courses, develop certain skills. We have great support from our careers and employability services. So they will help you look for jobs, shape your CV, practice interviews. So they help you in your support in looking for employment. And actually, this is a service you get. It's a lifelong service. So even as an alumni of the university, you will always have access to that service and you can always come back and use that service. So we're working with the students to co-produce and co-create our approaches, our teaching, how we develop your learning experience. And that also is reflected in our assignment strategies. So for most of the courses, at least within our school, there are no exams, right? We don't believe this is the best way to assess someone's skills and what you've learned. So we try to use very authentic assessments and assessments that really reflect what you will be doing in real life. So this will vary from developing a report for a client, if you in a way that you would do like in a consultancy, to practicing giving an assessment as a job interview, as you were applying for a lab manager job in a food company. They are really, really varied assignments, but they are designed to reflect real life situations. So you put your skills and what you learn into something really tangible. We try to be as transdisciplinary and transformative as we can. You will see throughout all the courses, there's a great interdisciplinarity, try to mix students from different courses to solve more complicated problems. And as I said, our teaching is really research-led. Actually, for most of our courses, 60% of the course, although it's a taught MSc course, 60% of the course is research-led, which is quite different from what you might find in other universities. And one thread that connects all our courses really and all our curriculum is sustainability. So we have embedded sustainability across our curriculum, across our research themes and operations, and that's something we all work towards achieving and developing skills and solutions to achieve sustainability in many different contexts. So this schematic represents really how a typical MSc course is structured. And as I said, this might be slightly different from what you might encounter in other universities with a more classical structure. So our master courses are divided in three sections, 3 parts. So the first part starts when you register at the end of September, October, and is the taught part. So between October and the end of February, you cover 7 or 8 different taught modules, so different subjects, depending on the course you have signed up for. And each of these modules is run in 2-week blocks. And the first week you'll have lots of the lectures, seminars, lab practicals. You might have visits to a company. You might have a field trip, lots of workshops. So this is what we call like the contact week. And then the second week of the module is what we call the assimilation week. So that's where you get to put in practice what you've learned during the first week and develop an assignment. You'll be given an assignment and submit that assignment at the end of the second week. And then you move to the next module. And this way, in 2-week blocks, you cover 7 or 8 modules until the end of February. What happens after that? You move to the second part of your course, which is the group project. And so the group project, what we do is we group together students from different courses. So create multidisciplinary teams. So you all come with different skills, different expertise, and try to actually put in practice what you've learned in the first part of the course, in your taught modules. And these are often kind of consultancy type projects. So we'll get you in contact with a company that will present you with a problem that they're facing. And as a group, you need to work and develop and deliver to them a solution, right? This is I think for many of the students, this is one of the most enjoyable parts of the course, where they get to work with lots of other people with different expertise, and it's meant to kind of simulate kind of a real life situation. If you were to work in a company, you'll be working for a team, perhaps with people you don't know, with people with different roles, and you'll have to find a way to, as a team, to deliver a solution to the problem you are given. So apart from putting in practice what you've learned in the taught part of the module, you develop all sorts of other skills as well: team working, leadership, project management, professional skills in how to explain your work, your research in a professional way to your client, to someone that perhaps is not a scientist. So you get to practice different ways of communicating your work and your research. And the final part of your course starts from May and it goes to the end of summer, is your individual thesis research project. And that's really kind of the most flexible part of the work of the course, because you can do your thesis project. It can be lab-based, it can be field-based, it can be desk-based. You can do it here at Cranfield, or you can do it as a placement in a company or in another research organization here in the UK or abroad. So it's very flexible. So you will be assigned a thesis tutor and you'll work with them to develop a project that is of interest to you and aligns with their research expertise as well, to support you in that. And is an opportunity really to get some skills, some more experience, and something that's very tailored to you. So we want you to do a thesis project that will really help you get the skills you need to get the job that you are after. So as you can see, and as I mentioned earlier, you have 40 plus 80 credits, both the group project and the thesis project. So 120 credits out of 200 are research-based. So even though these are taught master courses, the research element is very strong. The industry links are very strong, because in each part of your journey, you'll have interactions with industry. You will be looking at real-life problems, and you will be developing the skills to find solutions for these problems. And as I said, everything we do is underpinned by sustainability principles. I'm sure you all come across the Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations. So all our courses are aligned to at least one, most of the case, more than one of these sustainable development goals. All our research is aligned to these, and all your projects as well, group thesis projects, will be working towards addressing at least one of these sustainable development goals. So just to go a little bit more into detail about the type of work we do within the School of Water, Energy and Sustainability. As I said, our energy and sustainability theme at Cranfield is really strong, but that's really because it reflects the challenges we're facing in real world today, right? So if we think of climate change, we think the use of fossil fuels that we're trying to reduce, geopolitical situations that make energy trade very tricky, energy prices very unstable, causing lots of problems worldwide. So what we are focusing here is developing solutions, looking at the future of energy. How can we get to net zero? So how can we exploit more renewable sources of energy? How can we find solutions to better store that energy, better distribute it, use less of it in our systems? So it covers a really wide range of aspects. We have a really big research line on hydrogen. How can we use hydrogen to fuel from planes to buses all the way to cars? How can we store that better, distribute it better? So we have our own solar panel farm on campus. So energy is really a big research theme for us, and that feeds into our courses as well. So under the energy and sustainability theme, we have 4 MSc courses. These cover advanced mechanical engineering, renewable energy, advanced chemical engineering, and advanced digital energy systems. And many of these, as you'll see, are accredited by the Institution of Mechanical Engineers and the Energy Institute. Facilities around campus are quite unique. I'm a biologist, so I wouldn't be able to explain a lot about this, but we have kind of pilot scale structural integrity, energy technology and materials laboratories, process systems engineering laboratories, and energy process laboratories, where you can develop your research. One thing I have to mention here is that unlike other kind of classic bigger universities where you have the research facilities for the staff that are doing research, and then you have separate laboratory facilities for the students, for the lab practicals, for the tutorials. Here, we don't have separate facilities for students. So students can really use all these cutting edge equipment, all these facilities that we use for our own research. So many of these are quite unique. They are the cutting edge of research. So you won't be, we don't have separate kind of lower quality or capability facilities just for students. So you get to use what we use for our research, which is really important. And that goes across all the themes and all the facilities we have. So when it comes to agri-food, and that's the theme I manage, of course, we have a big challenge in our hands worldwide. We need to provide the world's growing population with a sustainable, secure supply of safe and nutritious food that is also affordable, and people have access to it. But we have to do this using less land, lower inputs, and also in the context of global climate change, which has been causing lots of extreme weather events, floods, droughts. So we need to make sure our food supply is resilient to that. We can produce enough food that is safe, nutritious, we can supply it to everyone that needs it. So with that in mind, this is a very multifaceted challenge. And with that in mind, we have designed our food courses as well to address that. So within the agri-food program, we have 2 food-related courses and 1 informatics course. So the 2 food courses, food systems and management and future food sustainability, they're both accredited by the Institution of Agricultural Engineers. Food systems and management is also accredited by the Institute of Food Science and Technology. This is a credit to, these are professional bodies that regularly review the content of the course and they validate and are happy to put their stamp on it. So it gives you a bit of confidence that what you are learning, the skills you are learning are really recognized by professional bodies in this field. And with both these food courses, you're looking at the whole supply chain. How can we make it safer? How can we make it more sustainable? Which are the things we should be looking at to improve? And how can we develop strategies for the future as well, right? Predict trends, develop strategies for more resilience, more food security. The Applied Bioinformatics course, although it sits under the agri-food umbrella, is not restricted to delivering solutions to agri-food problems. What you learn there during your course and how you apply what you learn is relevant to all life sciences research, really. So if we think of clinical research or pharmaceuticals, medical science, any sort of life science, because you'll be dealing with biological data. And nowadays we generate so much data that we need a way to make sense out of them. So this course is one of the longest running bioinformatics course in the UK. And really, the graduates of this course are really sought after by the industry. There's a real gap there for bioinformatics skills. When it comes to our facilities, you'll see our pink glass house there. So we have it's a unique platform for assessing pilot scale crop soil systems. So that although you cannot gauge the scale of that glass house, is really much taller than a normal glass house because it holds a phenotyping platform, and because it can also accommodate growing plants at the pilot scale in 1 cubic meter soil modules, like those blue modules that you see at the bottom picture. So we can grow there things up to small trees, really, and have really detailed digital phenotyping and integrated soil management. We can replicate any soil type, any sort of different soil amendments. As I said earlier, Cranfield has a really long history in soil science and the biggest group of soil scientists in the UK. So these are kind of key facilities and are quite unique. You won't find these type of facilities anywhere. Another area we have a big research capacity on is post-harvest facilities. We have a big research group looking at how can we improve post-harvest biology and technology to extend shelf life of fresh produce and storage life of produce and reduce food loss and waste. Food loss and waste reduction is one of our key priorities, and we have several research projects around that area. Of course, lots of our work goes into, as I said, developing more resilient crops. So lots of breeding for root traits, so plants can withstand droughts and floods, seed technologies, and yeah, all sorts of different facilities you can use. In our environment program, we are looking to develop, again, transformative and solution-driven approaches to environmental crisis. We are all aware of the environmental crisis we're facing. So how can we use data, how can we use new technologies to mitigate some of these challenges and to develop solutions that will kind of help us mitigate some of these environmental issues we are facing and embed sustainability in everything we do, right? So the courses relevant to this theme are Advanced Geographical Information Systems and Remote Sensing, Environmental Engineering, Environmental Management for Business, and Global Environmental Change. And again, you'll see many of these are accredited by professional bodies, relevant professional bodies, to give you, again, that confidence that what you learn is really important for the industry at the moment. Facilities, again, some really unique facilities, such as the Urban Observatory. So Cranfield itself as a campus is an urban observatory. So because within the campus we have an airport, we have a solar farm, panel farm, we have our own water treatments facilities, we have roads fitted with sensors for testing of autonomous vehicles. So if you think about it as a campus, although it's relatively small, but it's like a micro city, right? So we have set up sensors all across campus, and we are monitoring all sorts of different things, such as air quality, soil quality, biodiversity, and wildlife. And we try to understand how all these things change and how activities such as airport transport, all these things affect urban life and urban environments. So it's quite a unique facility and generating lots of data which you can use for your research as well. We have extensive environmental analytical facilities. We have 2 floors of the building that you see there, which is actually the building I am sitting in today, with 2 floors of labs full of the latest equipment you can find for analyzing physiology, biochemistry, molecular biology. And on the right there, you'll see we are also part of a facility for airborne atmospheric measurements. So that plane there that you see is fitted with all sorts of sensors and equipment to analyze air quality. So it gets to fly over to areas of concern and monitor air quality and generate data and inform decisions. So it's quite a unique facility as well there. In our water theme, the research we do is really transformative in terms of what we've been developing and achieving in the developing world, about sanitation and water availability, but also in the developed world as well, in terms of different types of water treatments, water monitoring, even water monitoring for identifying the disease hotspots and things like that. So we work a lot with all major water companies, and it's really, as I said, Cranfield is it has a long history in water science and the biggest group of water scientists in the UK. So if you're interested in water science, Cranfield is the place to be. Courses at the moment available are in the water and sanitation for development, advanced water management, and water and wastewater engineering. And as I said, we have our own water and wastewater treatment facility, and this is a national research facility, and that's on campus. We have some new, brand new labs focusing on point of use water treatment developing. So really brand new and unique facilities on this as well. The last area we are covering is design thinking. And this is how do we incorporate the these concepts of design and innovation into manufacturing, engineering, into everything we do. This is the philosophy of design engineering. So we have a course, design thinking, master's course, and this is quite a unique course actually. That is, you will be working alongside with leading academics to generate innovative ideas and design innovative solutions for industry problems. So, and the course is accredited by the Chartered Society of Designers as well. So you get to use the prototyping facility to develop prototypes or to demonstrate your ideas and projects. And this building here is an award-winning eco building that is dedicated just to the design engineering people. So it's a great place for creativity and innovation to thrive and your ideas put in practice. As I said, 60% of your course is research-based. These are just some examples of group and thesis projects from previous years. I won't go in, try to read them, but of course you'll have access to the slides. You can look at them later. The range of subjects is so wide, and every year is a completely different list of projects, because we try to get them as personalized to you as possible, but also it depends on the clients or the companies we might be working at each point in time. So we'll never have two projects or two students working on the same project. It's always a different thing, and they really vary in their nature and what you can do. Learners' backgrounds, where do our students come from? Well, depending on the course you're applying for, we'll be looking at different type of backgrounds, from engineering, biological science, food science, computer science, physics, geography, business, design, management. It's a wide range. So my advice would be, depending on the course you're interested in, if you're not sure if your background fits the requirements, just get in touch and discuss that with the course director. They will always be happy to advise. One thing to keep in mind, we also, apart from your bachelor's degree, your qualifications, we take into account also your professional experience as well. Because actually many of our students don't come straight from university, from their bachelor's. They've been working perhaps in the industry for a few years, and they want to come and upskill or change a bit of direction. So apart from the degree, they will have some relevant experience as well. So discuss this with your course director, and they should be able to advise on suitability. But in general, we accept the students from a really wide range of disciplines, and that makes actually the community and the environment really interesting, because the mix in the classroom is quite diverse, meaning people come with different perspectives, different ideas, and makes a much richer learning experience. Where do our students end up? Graduate employment. Again, these are just a handful of examples per theme. You will see probably some names you recognize there, such as Kellogg's, PepsiCo, Unilever, Coca-Cola, and so on. But really, these are just a handful of examples. Our graduates end up mainly in the industry, but many of them go on to follow an academic career. So they stay to do a PhD and stay in academia, but many will, and some will go on to develop set up their own businesses, but the majority of them will end up in industry. We have a really good record of employability. I think the latest is that 6 months after finishing their course, 92 or 94% of our graduates are in employment already. But depending on the course, for example, if we think of applied bioinformatics, because there's a real gap there in the industry, usually our students are applied bioinformatics students, they usually get job offers before they even finish the course. So there's a quite variation there. But really, having a degree from Cranfield means a lot to the industry because we work a lot with industry. They know the level of research at Cranfield and the quality of the work at Cranfield. So your degree really matters, right? It counts for something. And with that, I think I'd prefer to leave some time for questions. So I would like to thank you all for listening to me. You have there my email. If you want to contact me directly, feel free to reach out. You also have the Cranfield University social media accounts there. You can follow and find more about Cranfield. But yeah, I would like to thank you for your attention, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much for taking out the time and giving us this insightful presentation. Now time for Q&A session. I will call out the questions from the YouTube chat box. So the first question is, can we get a job easily after completing MSc in sustainability?
Sustainability is an area that there is a really a lack of skills at the moment in the industry. Obviously, sustainability is something that is in the agenda of every company at the moment because it has to be. However, what we've noticed and when talking to the industry, what we realize is usually at the moment, many of these jobs are taken by people who are not really trained on sustainability. They're trying to do the job because it's needed. So there is a real skills gap. And we found that our students, the training in sustainability that they get, makes them really great candidates, and they all get jobs really easily in that sector. Because if you think of all industries, whether it's food industry, manufacturing, I mean, sustainability is now at the core of the agendas of every industry. So these graduates really find jobs very easily.
Okay, so there's some information about the applicant, his ID and the course name, and he's asking, we are waiting for the offer letter, how long it will take. So you have the information for the same?
It might take a week or a bit longer. I don't know how long they apply to. If it hasn't arrived, I would urge them just to send an email to the admissions tutor just to remind them in case there is something they're missing and they might need to provide additionally. So if they haven't received it within 10 days or so, I would say send an email just to follow up. It shouldn't be long.
Okay, they can contact the Cranfield University office and
Absolutely.
maybe they'll get the reply.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question is there any way of getting IELTS waiver?
Get what? Sorry, I didn't get that.
IELTS waiver. Like it's a
Sorry, I
different
didn't.
IELTS, the exam for getting into the
Yes.
university.
So you will need to meet the English language qualifications. IELTS is one of the tests we accept, but there's a whole range of other tests you can also do. I don't remember now exactly. I don't know whether Lauren or Trisha, you you have the other details for the other English language tests you can share now. If not, please send me an email and I can send you the link directly, all the different options.
Okay. So next question is, can you please tell me the deadline for September 2024 intake and if any scholarship is available?
There are scholarships available at the moment. Deadline for applying, it depends where you're from, whether you need a visa or not. We usually encourage, the earlier you apply, the easier it is, because we'll need to issue you a CAS number, and then you need that to apply for the visa. And sometimes there might be delays with visas that might become quite stressful at the end of summer. So I would advise you to apply as soon as you can. It doesn't matter if you're missing your English certificate or something, you will get a conditional offer, but at least, you get the ball rolling. Also, the earlier you have your offer, the earlier you can apply for accommodation on campus as well. I'm not sure of the specific deadline. I don't know whether Tricia knows the deadline. I think at some point in July or August, but there's still plenty of time. Scholarships, there are scholarships available. Some are country specific or region specific. Some are more general and bigger scholarships. But they will depend on the course and the program you're applying for. So I would say, depending which program you're interested in, contact the admission tutors for that program, and they will tell you which scholarships are available for you to apply and how. Many of these, the deadline is quite early. We have the Brian Meredith scholarships that are about 20K. The deadline to apply is quite early. I think it was either March or April. So the earlier you apply, the more chances you have of securing that. But there will be smaller bursaries you can get up till the end, up till the deadline. But yeah, that will depend on the region. We have some priority regions. And the best way would be to speak to your admission tutors at the time of your application, and they will advise on the best options available for you.
For international students, is there any help to find jobs in the UK after graduation or during the studies?
Absolutely. So we have our careers and employability service is really helpful, really strong. So when you sign up with them while you are here, you get lots of support. They have a system where you can get access to where jobs are being posted. You get notifications of jobs relevant to you. They can help you with tailoring your CV, applying for jobs, even practicing, doing kind of mock interviews to help you with securing a job. Also, the course team, course directors, program directors, sometimes we have opportunities based on the companies we work with, that they contact us looking for people. So we will also advertise this to you. So there are lots of, there will be plenty of opportunities. And I think as an international student, when you finish your course, you can get 2 years of a graduate visa. So you can work in the UK for at least 2 years with that graduate visa. Now, during the course, many students get part-time jobs. Many work here on campus, different services around the campus, either as student ambassadors or in the student union or in the conference center. We have just a few hours just to earn a bit of money to help with your expenses, but there is a limit to how many hours you can work during the course while you are on your student visa. But many students do that. But yeah, then after you complete your course, you are eligible for graduate visa, and then you will get lots of help from the careers services to find a job.
How do you select applicants? What aspect do you look for in an application?
Right. So, of course, we're looking for people that have the right qualifications for the course. I personally, when I look at the applications, I look at the motivation as well, right? So, why does this person want to study this course? How is this going to enhance their career? Because I always feel, if people are passionate about the subject, passionate about what they will do well, right? So, but in terms of qualifications, we need to look at your bachelor's degree. You need to have the relevant English qualifications, and then your motivation, really. Why do you want to do this? Why Cranfield? So we need to see that sort of commitment.
Okay. Do you have information on average earning post completing your MSc in sustainability?
Average, sorry.
Average earnings.
Oh, I personally don't have that data. I don't know whether Lauren, do we have that sort of information?
Average salary for jobs. It would depend on what type of job you have and what MSc you're doing. So if you're looking at something in a course particular, I would look online and that should perhaps point you in the right direction, but I don't have any data to share at the moment.
Yeah. So we usually, on our website, we would advertise types of jobs, job titles that graduates will get. So from that, you can get an idea. But because, we tend not to collect data on salary levels because these vary a lot. And also there's not much transparency when industry doesn't always share those salaries with us. So I don't think we have that type of information, but you can look at on the sustainability MSc website. There is a section on the website where say, well, types of roles and industry where the people end up. So you get an idea of the types of jobs, and then you can get a feel about the level.
After semester, any additional chances will be given for incomplete papers?
Not sure I understand the question. So we are not organized in semesters, okay? So we have these three parts of the course: the taught part, the group project, and the thesis project. And for the taught part, for each module you complete, you will have an assignment to submit, and you will have 1 week to complete that assignment. If you fail that assignment, you have the opportunity to resit it later on in the year to redo it again. There are lots of strict rules and regulations about how many of these you can resit. And usually when you resit, your mark is capped at 50%. But if there are, let's say you have to submit your assignment at the end of this week, if there are exceptional circumstances that prevent you from doing that, if you're sick, something happens in your life that really prevents you from completing that, you can be granted an extension to that, but you'll have to work with the course team and the student support office, and because we'll need to provide some evidence, and you can apply for an extension. So we always look at this on a case-by-case basis. We want to make sure everybody is fit and capable of submitting their work, but we try to be fair, not to give an unfair advantage to anyone else.
Okay, so I have covered all the questions from the YouTube chat box. Thank you for answering all the questions so well. Do you want to share any final words?
Yeah, really, I'm looking forward to welcome as many of you as possible here at Cranfield. I think you'll find the environment, the culture really refreshing and enriching. And as a word of advice, choose wisely what you want to study next, the subject you want to study, and choose something you're passionate about, because if you're passionate about it, you'll do great. And just try to, the things we're doing now and the things we're teaching you, the world is a very challenging place at the moment. We need people with ideas, people that can provide solutions. So take the opportunity and start building those solutions, be part of that change.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for your valuable time. All the audience, if you have any further questions, please feel free to contact the SIUK India office. For more update, do follow us on our social media handles. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.